In remote parts of the Andes, there still exists a very rare animal, the mountain tapir. One of the main threats to the habitat in Sangay is the Frisian cow, which is kept by the locals for milk and meat. And this encourages people to set fires to burn down the natural vegetation so that there's green grass to feed the cattle. Alau is the last town before you enter the wilderness area of Sangay National Park. With 11 expedition members, we need enough food for 10 days.
Oh yeah. Chop it down, the whole mountain will slough away, and they'll have no more clear watershed for this vital Rio Alau, which is so vital for the community of Alau and Licto and Pungala, as well as Rio Bamba and all the crops which occur there. There's also a good mixture of Dinoxus, which make it excellent mountain tapir habitat, since the silvery tree, member of the sunflower family, is the most eaten, as I determined in the fecal analysis.
Mount Sangay volcano.
So we can cut straight across. Well, yeah, you could come up the creek, maybe that'd be easier. And come right up into the bottom of this thing, but ultimately we're going to need to get on this point directly to my right, because she's right directly below that, unless she's managed to sneak out of there somehow.
Can you see her now?
No, she went behind this little point, and it's real breaky country. It's a real nasty little hole. So I'm hoping she hasn't snuck out. I've been watching both exit points, but...
Okay, I'll keep the radio on. Mountain tapir across the gully.
Maybe 120 meters from us right now. There's 6 of us on this ridge talking out loud. She's obviously not spooked. She's standing right there looking at us. For this reason, they're easy to hunt. They're not overly intelligent, or maybe that's a misstatement. They're not overly wary. And it makes them easy to hunt, easy to find, easy to kill, especially if you have dogs. And therein lies the problem here.
I'm collecting mountain tapir feces here. Many of the plants in this high Andean ecosystem germinate through the mountain tapir's feces, which is a post-gastric or cecal form. It does not as thoroughly degrade the seeds as does a ruminant system, and my experiments have shown that a large portion of the plants here do in fact germinate, as well as my field observations. And so therefore it's a very important keystone species. It might germinate a fourth to a third of the trees and shrubs and herbs that occur in these simplified high Andean areas. Fuchsia here associated with volcanoes. Mountain tapir also eats the fuchsia. I'm not sure whether it seeds it though, but it is pollinated by a hummingbird. It's just a lovely place, these high cloud forests, quite beautiful. And we have some plants appear to be coming up right from the feces. It looks like it might be a little aster, or this looks like a geranium here. Here we find a little sproutling coming right up from the turd of the mountain tapir, plainly visible. Older one. You can see the little rhizome.
Hold it in front of the rumex.
They eat this rumex.
Yeah.
The tapirs eat this rumex tolamensi, and it's in the buckwheat family. But there you see a definite sprout, and this is true of many different species. You see the little hair, the root hair, coming from it. One of those Gunnera magellanica. I'm not sure this comes right from the tapir. It probably just sprung up vegetatively.
A welcome break in the collection of tapir turds is enjoyed over a hot cup of steaming coffee.
Okay, here we have the rear foot of the mountain tapir, which has 3 toes with spade-like hooves. It's traveling along the river. They spend a lot of time in the riverine meadow grazing little herbs. The front feet have 4 spade-like hooves minus a thumb. And these are very versatile. It's a very versatile organ. They can swim, they can climb very steep slopes, dig their way into the mud. And they have been observed to eat mud, eat clay-like mud to obtain minerals. Mountain tapir frequently deposits its dung in piles together, and this is probably a way of marking its territory. It's often right near its main boundary trails. Sometimes you can see many months of deposit of the feces, which are also become very fertile grounds for future germination and contribute largely to the humus layer and the seed bank of the soils. And scent is very important as well in keeping contact with other members of the opposite sex for the purposes of attracting a mate. They're largely a solitary species. They also employ rubbing of their hips or their flanks on the sides of trees as a way of marking their boundaries. Okay. Here's Sinclair filming the mountain tapir. We've discovered a pair in a little highland valley, about 3,600. And here's Ricardo, who spotted the mountain tapir, and we hope to get a little closer.
Great.
Oh well, those shows I'm not particular.
Yeah, we gotta improvise, you know, when you're 7 scientists, you gotta...
Yeah. Okay, so...
You should get one high mom.
Also, the spectacled bear has been kill and dispatch and devour the mountain tapir. But mostly they prey on the weak, the old, the very young, as is true of most predatory animals.